Hi guys. So, first of all, I want to welcome you guys back to the Taurus Mix. If you have not, or if you're thinking about it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to this video. It took me a while to do this video, and the reason why is because I have been so overwhelmed with the movie Michael. I had an opportunity the second day that the movie premiered. I went, I dressed up. I'm going to insert some footage of me seeing other people dressed up. I really enjoyed that movie. I will be inserting some portions of the movie, just little tidbits and pieces of the movie. But Jaafar Jackson did a marvelous job, you guys. I have been to different places out of the country, and I've seen different people perform, do little concerts or whatever on different resorts, and they always have a Michael Jackson tribute. And I've been liking Michael Jackson since I was a very little girl. I always thought that he was this great entertainment, even at a young age. I had his posters on my wall. Every time MTV came on, I was watching his videos. Any opportunity that I could find. We had HBO back then. You know, having HBO was a big thing back in the day. And I am one of his biggest fans. Always. Never doubted him. Michael Jackson has done so many wonderful things, not just in his music, but his humanitarian efforts. He spent over $500 million giving back to help people, help kids. He helped create the Heal the World Foundation. He did a song for Africa. He has done so many great things. He went and visited sick kids in the hospital. Neverland Ranch catered to those sick children. And a person like Michael Jackson, who, if you listen to his song, Man in the Mirror, they don't care about us. Heal the World, the Earth Song, all those great songs that he did, and the way he choreographed and the way he was able to compile his album Thriller. He took things from everyday life, things that were happening, the bad. You know, then you go on to Want to Be Starting Something, Beat It. All these great songs that came from real life experience that he seen that the world was going through. And I don't care what nobody say. And I'm not going to sit here and debate about why you're supporting a pedophile and all this. One thing, God gives you a discernment of spirit. And it's not because Michael Jackson is black or he has this great following. He was vindicated. An attorney went all over the world, did everything to humiliate Michael Jackson. Then you got people study coming out trying to humiliate Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was acquitted. Unlike your president, who was convicted. Michael Jackson was acquitted of all charges. And because the new biopic has come out, you got these same people looking for a payday. They're looking for a payday. The people, the critics, God gave us a gift. Michael Jackson was a light, and we destroyed that light. And, it's just so sad to some of the stuff that I've seen and did some research on and the backgrounds of things. It's just so heartbreaking. He loved children. He said, come as a child. The Bible says, come as a child. Children are innocent. They tell the truth. They don't love you for what you can do for them. They can't scam you. They won't do that. They love you because of who you are, and they love with a pure heart. And Macaulay Culkin, who spent a whole lot of time with Michael Jackson, never wavered in supporting Michael Jackson. He could have changed his mind, like other people who said it never happened, and all of a sudden it did happen. But he's still defending Michael Jackson to this day. And I just think that it's sad that we was given this awesome gift, and the hatred and because of who he was, we tried to destroy him. And I take that back. If you look towards the end of his life, people destroyed him. They twisted things. They said things that was not true. And they destroyed this person. My daughter said it best. Michael Jackson had a pure heart. And I just believe that he used his talent for good. He wanted to heal people. He wanted people to be happy. He wanted people to dance. And he was a perfectionist at his craft. And no matter what people say, I went and saw the movie 3 times. And I'm supporting this movie. Number 1, as his fan. Number 2, because I believed in him when he said, in order to make this world a better place, you got to take a look at yourself and make a change. And I believe that. And the things that we're going through right now is we as people are not looking at ourselves in the mirror. How many people out there can look themselves in the mirror and say that they done went out there and they done made a change and they done helped somebody other than help themselves? So I'm going to get off that soapbox. But like I said, I went and saw the movie 3 times. The first time that I saw the movie, I was like in awe. The second time that I saw the movie, I was overwhelmed. The third time I saw the movie, I was just like, this is the closest that I would ever get to seeing Michael Jackson perform. Jaafar did a wonderful, outstanding job, and he deserved an Oscar for it. The discipline, the hard work. It's a lot of great dancers out here that could imitate Michael Jackson, but he embodied his uncle. And that Jackson family has this soft, loving demeanor. And every time I looked up and the things that I saw, I was like, oh my God. Sometimes I was like, Is that Michael? And it ain't like he tried to be Michael. But I know his uncle is up there and he's like, wow, this man did an awesome job. He worked hard for 2 years. This biopic is expected to reach $1 billion. It has surpassed all the critics, all the naysayers. Yes, we were entertained. We were excited. It was a concert, and a lot of people say, oh, they missed a lot of things in the movie. That movie was 2 hours long, you guys. So it had to cut out some things. But the thing that bothered me the most and was the most heartbreaking in this movie was seeing through the eyes of Jaafar and from what he studied. He went back to the house. He worked out. He did things to get closer to his uncle. He looked at notes that his uncle left. And when Michael Jackson was burned by Pepsi, through that, where the fire came down, when he turned in this movie, which I'm going to show you, turned to the side and he said, Mama, it's not your fault. I could see Michael Jackson, you guys. And I'm trying my best not to cry because we abuse, defamed a beautiful soul. My daughter said he had a beautiful soul. Michael Jackson had a beautiful soul. He had a beautiful mind. And he had a beautiful heart for people. And we destroyed him. I just think that if we gave back what he gave to us and the things that he's still giving, I got a 4-year-old grandson who know who Michael Jackson is now. You got generations, new generations coming up that love Michael Jackson. He was an artist. He was a humanitarian. He was a gifted singer. But, and every penny that Pepsi paid him from being burned, he donated to the burn center. While he was in the hospital, he went and saw these people. He constantly went back and visit these children. Children are so innocent. And I just can't believe how people treated him. And I just don't believe that Michael will hurt a fly, let alone a child. Now, an adult, he might hurt us, but a child, no. You go to his Neverland Ranch and you see where he had this theater. Then he had beds with windows where kids that weren't able to sit up and watch the entertainment, they could lay in bed. Those who had monitors, drips, or all kind of things hooked up to them. He thought about those children when he built that theater. And I'm going to put some quotes of some things that Michael said that still stand today, but we lost a great person. He's not above God. We're not worshiping Michael. We're just acknowledging that God gave us a gift, and we destroyed it. And when I saw him, and I'm going to say him, Michael Jackson, because Jaafar, sometimes it seemed like it was a transformation where it's like Michael actually came and said, this is me. the hard work. Nobody will ever take the place of Michael Jackson. But Jaafar Jackson represented him. He represented. Now, 4 or 5 years ago, I had the privilege of, because I'm a Michael Jackson fan, and I kept up with 3T and Jermaine Jackson, Janet Jackson, Reba Jackson, the Jacksons, the whole family, the mom, the dad. Anybody can portray Michael Jackson. Anybody could have did it. Any actor could have did it. But this was Jafar's first movie role. But he could sing and he sounded like his brother. When I look back on videos that I was like, wow, I would play it over and over again because you could hear Michael's voice when he's singing. And it's not like he's trying. He didn't try to sing like Michael. It's just hereditary. It's in the family. You know, when you listen to people talk, they sound like somebody in their family. If somebody do certain body gestures, it's because of someone in their family. So the only thing that I could do is give props to Jaafar Jackson. No one else could have played Michael Jackson but Jaafar Jackson. That was Jafar's calling. His calling was to remind us what we lost. His calling was to remind us this beautiful soul, this person that we lost, that was lonely in his last days. And hats off, it's a lot of people, no matter what, love Michael Jackson. It's people passed out in the theaters just watching a biopic. It's people got up and danced and they sing. But Michael was a child prodigy. He had an old soul that's 9, 18 years old. When he sung, you listened. So there was one part of the movie that really that I had tears about. Another part is his love for animals. And I love animals. Animals are like children. It's people mistreat animals and they still love them. And Michael said those are not just animals. Those were his friends. And how he talked to them and how he loved them, especially Bubbles. And it's so much that I could say about Michael Jackson. But he was isolated at a young age because he was famous. He had to have a bodyguard at a young age because he was so famous. Now I see why he covered his children's face and he want people to see them so whenever they got old enough, they can go out without being bombarded by the paparazzi and different people. But they're grown now. And because they're not Michael Jackson, they're just his children, they're able to live a somewhat a normal life. The third thing that got me, you guys, when Michael Jackson did Human Nature, OMG. I said when Michael Jackson did Human Nature. I meant when Jaafar Jackson did Human Nature. He felt that song. I felt that song. My friend, she just started laughing because she was like, I was just in awe. Out of the whole movie, when he did Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, I was in awe. Jaafar did a marvelous job. When he did I'm Bad, my mind was blown away. people in the audience was hollering, Michael, Michael, Michael. And we had to think, Jaafar, Jaafar, because you couldn't tell if it was him or Michael. You could not tell in certain parts if it was Michael Jackson or Jaafar. And let's not forget Billie Jean. People have been on the internet and they have been comparing both Billie Jean and side by side with Jaafar and with Michael. He really did a marvelous job. Even if you hated the movie, Jaafar did a great job. All the people that was in this biopic did a great job. My friend girl, she was so mad with the guy that played Joe Jackson. But in black families, believe it or not, a lot of us, we got our tails whooped and the heartbreakingest part to me is Joe called him Big Nose. And then that Michael Jackson himself thought he was ugly. Michael Jackson was handsome when he was a child. He was handsome as a young teenager, as a young adult, and as he gradually got older. People thought Michael Jackson wanted to be white. Michael Jackson embraced being a black man. He loved who he was. But besides the mental abuse and the physical abuse that he went through, he had vitiligo and he had lupus. And people can say, oh, he didn't have it, he just bleached his skin. My niece has vitiligo and she's darker than me. And at one point, her mom and dad was going and get her these shots to try to slow the process down. And it was so expensive till they couldn't afford it anymore. So they had to let nature take its course. And she is beautiful. Back then, being an entertainer like Michael Jackson was, there is no way we would have accepted him and listened to the message that he was giving us through his music without judging his outer appearance. Yeah, we judged it because he came back in a bad album and he looked different, but I don't care what stage of Michael Jackson you saw, you still saw Michael Jackson. You could tell that was Michael Jackson. But back then, having vitiligo was not acceptable as it is today, where you have models. They have embraced it. A long time ago, they thought vitiligo was a curse. So you are an entertainer back then, during the time Michael Jackson was at the height of his career. There's no way. We would have been looking at the spots on his face, wondering what happened to him. We know when he became a teenager and when he got into puberty, we know that he had acne and he had other things going on with his skin. And a lot of times, you guys don't believe this, but stress will accelerate and cause people who may have not been where their body exposes the vitiligo, where it's out like that. But stress will cause people, especially black people, sickness and different things like that, because that is in our culture, in our bloodline. I know it's some white people who have vitiligo as well. But stress, I know people on the job right now who they was fine, but somehow something happened in their lives and their skin started changing. So Michael Jackson was mentally abused. He was physically abused. He didn't get to live as a child because he's been famous all of his life. Damn near all of his life. And the relationships that he had and the bonds that he had with his bodyguard was great, was wonderful. You can't trust everybody. And, my thing is people trusted Michael to take care of their children when they came to visit. And even after all the accusations about him doing things to children, people still entrusted him with their children. And sometimes you got to look deep in somebody's soul. And when you look at Michael and when he talked about these things, I don't care what you say. And it's not because he Michael Jackson. It's not because he's famous. It's none of that. I don't condone nobody hurting children. But I just know that that man would not have hurt a hair on a child's head. And I just believe that blackmail played a major part. He was bigger than life. He got people that love him all over the world. And some people can't stand that. But I wish Jaafar major success. But I'm telling you guys, if you have not seen the biopic, you need to go and watch it. I'm thinking about going back and seeing it for a fourth time. Like I said, I've been different places all over the world, and they always have a Michael Jackson tribute, and you have people looking and mimicking and they do a good job. But for some reason, Michael was there when Jaafar portrayed him, and he did his uncle justice. If his uncle was still alive, he would be so proud of him. I am proud of you, Jaafar. You did a great job. Nobody can take it away. They can't say it with nepotism and favoritism because you a Jackson. You work hard for that position, and don't let nobody tell you otherwise. You worked 2 years, and you spent time with the man in spirit, and you physically knew your uncle. People that betray him don't know him, but you knew him. You spent time with him. And then you was given an opportunity to look over the notes and the things that he left behind, the legacy. You surrounded yourself with nothing but him. And the wonderful thing that I like what you said is when you wanted to give up and when you was tired, you would say, what would Michael do? Michael Jackson was a Virgo and he was a perfectionist. You hear me? He would spin 20 times if it wasn't right. He would get on his toes 100 times if he didn't stick it right. He was a multi-talented entertainer that we will forever love and forever miss. And like I said, it's some tearjerkers in this biopic. And people said it was a concert. The best concert I ever went to, if you want to say that. But it did open your eyes and see some things that I already know from doing backgrounds and just trying to learn how Michael Jackson ticked. He was a soft-spoken man. And when he sang Man in the Mirror, the earth songs, the Hear the Word, the things that he sung it from the depths of his soul. He danced from the depths of his soul. If you ever had an opportunity to go to a concert, I've seen some live concerts, he gave it his everything. And the only thing that I wasn't able to look at was the This Is It. I've seen bits and pieces, but knowing that was the last days and weeks of Michael's life, I could not watch that. People let Michael Jackson down. People didn't protect him. He tried to protect others. He tried to open our eyes and view the world through his eyes. And he was unprotected. And he was taken from us like a thief in the night. If you haven't seen, go see the biopic Michael. And like I said, it's been almost a month and a week since I last went and saw Michael. And every time I left, I had an overwhelming emptiness. My heart ached for that man. My heart ached for his mother. But Jaafar said the only person that mattered was his grandmother. And she told him. And she the one gave birth to Michael Jackson. She was the closest to Michael Jackson. She said that she could not tell if it was him or Michael. It's just like Michael came back. And you might say it's cliche or whatever, but it's just like a ghost or a resurrection watching this biopic. I can't wait to see part 2. I hope they go in more depth. But Michael was a genius, you guys. There will never, ever, 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 ever be anybody like him. And like Elizabeth Taylor said, he is and will always be the king of pop, rock, and soul. Till next time, you guys. Bye. Up and down. Because I blog, so. Thank you. Can y'all say hi?
Hey there.
All right. So tell us how you like the movie.
I love it. It was the best movie ever. Concert and movie all in one.
He did a marvelous job. He represented his uncle well. We can't wait to see part 2.
Yes.
What's your name?
Ethel. My name is Ethel.
Miss Ethel, and we're out.
We're out.
We out.
Enjoy that.
Y'all watch that movie.